Welcome to the AI Queens podcast, the show where women entrepreneurs learn to ditch the overwhelm, embrace AI, and build businesses fit for royalty. I'm Erica Stanley, your host and tech expert, here to deliver tools, tips, and actionable strategies to help you scale smarter. Let's get to it. Hey there, Queens. Happy New Year, and welcome back to the AI Queens podcast. I am your host, Erica Stanley, and oh my gosh, it's so good to be back with you. You may have noticed a little bit of a lull, maybe some replays while I was out over the holidays. Luckily, I was able to take some time off to rest, which was amazing. But I was also taking some time to do a little bit of building. I got hired to build a custom web app in Lovable. So I have been working on that for about the past month. I know I've talked to you guys about the apps that I've been building in Lovable and Bolt and Base 44. This one was for a specific purpose. It's a really complex business calculator. It's the biggest thing I've tackled so far. And it just launched this week to the No BS Mastermind community that I'm a part of. I'm really freaking proud of this thing. It was so well received. We had over 70 people all log on at the same time and nothing crashed. So I was just really excited and really happy with the way it all came together. So yeah, I am officially in the app building business now instead of just making them for fun. It feels really, really cool that this thing came out of my brain. To be fair, it's based on a platform and a spreadsheet that has been built by others for years. But I took that thing that was confusing as hell and turned it into a web app with a setup wizard, and gosh, the whole thing, it's now able to help people run their businesses better. So just a little bit of an update for me and why you haven't heard from me, because I've been resting and I've been a little heads down. Today's episode, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of recap. We saw a ton of AI updates at the end of the year, and I want to catch you up on what you might have missed while you were with your families, eating cookies, wrapping presents. Plus, I want to share a few of the funny ways that AI showed up in my real life over the holidays, because even though I took a bit of a break, I, of course, could not escape it. It's everywhere. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right in with some of the AI news from over the holidays. There was some that was super exciting, but not necessarily because of the LLMs, the large language models. It's really, y'all, it's not about which one writes better or which one's smarter. They're all smart now. And what we're seeing is a shift. It's a shift that people are calling from the model race to, quote, AI as infrastructure. So let me explain what that means. For the past couple of years, it's been a constant leapfrog race. Every few weeks, a new model will drop. So you've got GPT versus Gemini versus Claude versus Grok, which I don't use. Everyone was asking which one's smarter? Which one should I be using? I get that question all the time. Which one should I be using? At this point, we're kind of past that. Each one is a little bit better at different things, but they're all smart. They're all good, and they're just going to get better. So the question is less about, should I be using AI? The answer to that is obviously yes. And obviously less about which model should I be using, but more instead about how can I integrate this into my day-to-day business and life? How can I be using AI to make the things that I do every day easier? And this is exactly what I've been teaching you on this podcast. We're seeing a major shift, and that's kind of what I've been trying to prepare you all for anyway. We are way past the should I, and really deep into the how can I weave this into the fabric of what I'm already doing? Now, when people say that AI is moving from a feature to infrastructure, here's what they mean. Think about electricity. It is not just a light bulb plugged into the wall that lights up a room, right? It literally powers everything. It is built into quite literally, the foundation of our homes and our lives. Or think about websites. In the early aughts, the early 2000s, having a website for your business was like a nice bonus, right? Like you didn't need one as a business owner, but it made you look fancy. By 2010s, if you didn't have a website, your business did not exist. Website, social media, like all of these things just became part of the status quo. If you didn't have those things, you were kind of invisible unless you had a brick and mortar. AI is making that same shift right now, except it's happening even faster. It's becoming essential. It's being woven into the foundation, the infrastructure of every business. Here's why that matters for women entrepreneurs. I really don't want us, you all, we can't get left behind. We really need to be using AI for more than just writing Instagram captions, writing content. It's so much more than that. And I know that I've been preaching that you can use it to duplicate, to multiply your content. Everyone's doing that now. And so it's getting really noisy. And I really feel like if that's still the only way you're using it in 2026, it's time to make a shift. We can still use it that way. It is still really useful to use it that way. But we need to be thinking about it in terms of how can we really start to weave this into our day-to-day and change the way we work. Now, you are already starting off the year right by doing things like listening to this podcast or subscribing to an AI newsletter. If you do that, just keeping on top of things. So if you're doing that, keep going. Stay curious, stay engaged, and just keep listening to the people who are not trying to talk at you or down to you, but are really trying to take you by the hand and lead you in the direction that we're really going to be going over the next few years. Let's break down what actually happened platform by platform over the holidays, starting with OpenAI and ChatGPT. OpenAI released GPT 5.1 and GPT 5.2 over the holidays. So these models they're more stable, they're faster, they have better, it's called like thinking time control, which basically means that the AI can reason through complex problems more efficiently. You may have noticed that some of the lags that we saw with the release of GPT-5, which was back in the fall, it's not quite as slow anymore. It's getting used to having to choose, am I really going to think about this or can I answer this really quickly? So it's sped up quite a bit. They also released ChatGPT images called GPT Image 1.5. So we've been able to create images within ChatGPT for a while now, and it was really good when it first launched. This is now even faster with much more precise edits. They're even integrating into Adobe products, which is really cool. They're Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, things like that. You can now iterate, you can make changes on the images, keep the lighting, keep the composition, keep the style consistent across multiple versions, and just make little bitty tweaks, which is really cool. You haven't been able to do this very easily up till now. It would generate an entirely new image. We haven't really been able to do this up until now. You would hit generate and it would create an entirely new image. Now you're going to be able to make little tweaks within an image and keep the rest of the image as is, which is really great. What this means for you, if you're currently paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, you're getting more out of the same subscription. So better reasoning, better images, better text, soon video with that. We're getting a little bit with Sora here and there, but I think that the ROI for something like ChatGPT is just going to improve as it gets better. They're going to want to create more value because there's more competition. Speaking of that competition, we've got Google Gemini. So right around Thanksgiving, right maybe after Thanksgiving, gosh, all of these days are just seeping into each other for me. Anyway, Google launched Gemini 3. It is really, really cool. It handles text, images, data. It's all in one place. Yes, you may have heard of Nano Banana. So now they've got Nano Banana Pro. I have no idea why they called it that, but I kind of love it. That's their newest, greatest image generation model. One of the things that they released during the holidays You can now take just a basic selfie and turn it into a full body realistic image of yourself and put yourself in different situations. It's really cool, especially for those of you who are working on a personal brand. I've said it before, I am 1000% in favor of branded photo shoots. However, if you don't have the money for one, this is a way that you can kind of fake it until you have it. Or it allows you to help storyboard out, to creative direct your own photo shoot before you hire an expensive photographer, before you spend a penny on outfits or try and figure out what your look should be for this brand photo shoot. So more realistic, really, really cool. I really love that Google recognizes that a lot of business owners use their entire ecosystem through Google Workspace, and they are now integrating AI into all of the systems that you're already using. So, for example, let's say you get an email, you're not quite sure how to respond, you have some basic ideas. I had been going into ChatGPT or Claude, putting the email thread in there and saying, hey, here's what I want to say back. Help me phrase this in a way that's going to be a little softer or more direct if that's the way I need. And then I would write the email that way, kind of back and forth with ChatGPT. Instead, Gemini is now integrated into a lot of these things. Or rather than Gemini being integrated in, you can actually make those connections on the back end and you can have those conversations with Gemini. So it's really cool. They're trying to make it as seamless as possible. And this is kind of what I was talking about when I mentioned infrastructure earlier. They're trying to make it as easy as possible for business owners to just use their system. Now moving on to image generation. Yes, we saw some updates with the LLMs, but this, the image generation, I mentioned Nano Banana Pro, I mentioned GPT's image. We also saw updates from Flux. Midjourney just released version 7. Ideogram, which I use for branding projects and ideation. It's so good. The big thing that we're seeing now is that text rendering finally works. For the longest time, if you asked AI to create an image with text on it, like a poster or a social graphic, it's going to butcher the words, the spelling, random letters, backwards letters. It's just total nonsense sometimes. Not anymore. Now you can tell it exactly what you want it to say, and it is getting it right. Now, there might be little tweaks that you have to make here and there, but ChatGPT, Nano Banana, Midjourney, they've all gotten so much better at this. The other huge improvement that we've seen towards the end of this year is character consistency. So now you can create an entire campaign with the same person or the same product, the same style across dozens of images without it re-rendering or changing things. So there's a lot better image consistency that we're seeing within these models now. Also, cool stat, cool, not cool, a little scary, I don't know. Statistic number that I saw towards the end of the year. Just in November alone, over 1 billion AI images were created. 1 billion with a B in 1 month. And that's just because it has gotten so much better. It's no longer experimental. It's no longer just a thing you play with. It's basically production ready. We started off with the model updates, moved on to the image generation. Now, what does all of this mean for you as a woman entrepreneur? First, like I just said, image generation is production ready. You are not going to need expensive stock photos or stock photo services anymore. You can create on-brand visuals in-house, social graphics, ads, carousels, images for your website. You are going to be able to do this yourself. I would say that the need for professional images, professional photos is still going to exist. But in a lot of cases, and I've worked in agencies, I've been making websites for I want to say over a decade. I've been working in marketing for 20 years. And stock photos are just the natural way that we would build things. If you didn't have a photo for something, you would go and find a stock photo. And I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I remember I remember working on a campaign for a client over a decade ago, and her major complaint with all of the imagery that we had found for this campaign was that there was not enough diversity. And I completely agreed with her, but we could not find diversity in our stock photos. And that meant, and there's nothing wrong with this, that meant that we ended up hiring a professional photographer, hiring models, and taking our own photos so that it better represented the people that we were trying to reach, which is great. Now, if you can't find a stock photo that is able to capture the vision of what you are trying to convey, you can just create it yourself. So freaking cool. I'm really excited about this new year and the branding projects that I'm going to be able to do for my clients with the AI that is available to us now versus where we were just a year ago. Second, AI as infrastructure. Again, reiterating, it's not optional anymore. I know you get this. That's the reason you're listening to this podcast. The women who master this now are going to have a massive competitive advantage. Basically, everyone you know is using AI unless they are super vocal that they don't use AI. But just assume that everybody is using it. Everybody's asking ChatGPT things. You taking the time to get really good at it, to master it, to turn it into an infrastructure for your business rather than just treating ChatGPT as a fancy version of Google. This is your moment to get ahead. Third, multimodal tools. These are tools that can do lots of different things. What this means is fewer subscriptions for you, better workflows because it all works together in one system. So instead of juggling 4 or 5 different tools, you've got one platform that's going to handle your text, your images, all of the data analysis. That's less tool switching, less time, and more time for you in your zone of genius, doing the thing that you love to do in your business. Okay, and finally, the shift from agents to automation. It means that AI isn't just creating content and Instagram captions anymore. It's running entire systems of people's businesses. It's handling customer service, email sequences, data analysis. So now these $20 a month subscriptions, whether you're paying for GPT or Claude or whatever you're using, you're getting way more bang for your buck because it is able to do just so much more. It feels like we're living in the future, but it's happening right now and it's happening really fast. All right. So now to close out the podcast, I want to tell you guys about some of the fun or funny ways that I encountered AI over the holidays. There's no way I could have gotten away from it. It was everywhere. First, I saw AI generated ads all over the place. Flyers, posters, event promotions, holiday sales, like AI was just used in everything. And yes, the text quality has gotten so much better. So there's not a lot of spelling errors, although I did see some of those. But if you know what to look for, the fonts, like the AI fonts, still have a certain look. There's a tell there, especially when it's from people who maybe aren't as familiar with generative AI. I could spot them a mile away. And when I would point them out to people that I was with, it was like, wait, are you sure that's AI? Yes, I'm sure that's AI. Second, my husband and I received several AI-generated Christmas cards this year. And I was really impressed at some of the creativity from some of these. The best one we got was from one of my husband's friends. They turned their entire family into The Simpsons. It was like a little Christmas living room scene as The Simpsons. So cute. Speaking of Christmas cards, my husband and I actually used AI to make ours this year as well. So my husband and I, we have for years, and him for years before I was even in the picture, we've always done a super creative Christmas card. We usually try to do something pop culture. A few years ago, we did one for the Eras Tour. We did Wicked last year. We used Photoshop to turn my husband green. We've been using Photoshop to make our Christmas cards for years. But this year, we decided to try to go full AI. So we used ChatGPT, Nano Banana, and Adobe Firefly to create, and lots of different iterations and changes and edits. We created a Hallmark movie poster of ourselves called The 12 Cats of Christmas. It was us dressed as Mr. and Mrs. Claus in a sleigh, surrounded by cats. It was ridiculous. It was perfect. We ended up photoshopping our faces, our real faces, onto the AI generated image because the AI versions of our faces didn't look quite as realistic as we wanted. My husband is a photojournalist. He's a professional photographer. So he brought in lighting and a backdrop to our house. And we took pictures of ourselves to mock up the poster. But the concept, the design, the whole vibe, every one of the individual cats, all AI. We got a ton of positive feedback on the Christmas card this year. So that was really cool. The funniest use of AI actually came from my mom. Bless her heart. I'm from Georgia. My mom's from Georgia, so I can say, bless her heart. My mom has been using AI, and she would probably be using it if it weren't for me anyway, but I'd like to think that I have contributed to her overuse. She used AI to write personalized Christmas poems for my sister and I to go along with the gifts that she gave us. So they were super personal, referenced where we live, what we love to do. It was really sweet. But, and this is where the bless her heart comes in, my mom did not proofread these poems. AI spelled my name wrong. I am Erica with a K, my mother, who named me, Erica with a K, and my name in the poem multiple times was Erica with a C. Yep. So my own mother's AI misspelled my name. It's okay. It's totally okay. The poem was super thoughtful. She had actually gone back and forth with ChatGPT multiple times to get it to the place where it was something that she knew I would like and appreciate, and that was super personal. And I did. I loved it and appreciated it. But this is also a really good reminder to trust but verify and always proofread. Okay, and I guess one more thing. If I'm going to throw my mom under the bus, under the AI bus, I might as well just go all in right before Thanksgiving. Hi, Mom. I love you. My mom took pictures of her pantry, and she had texted me like, hey, I need to reorganize my pantry. I can't get to my baking supplies. Things are all over the place. And I was like, oh, well, why don't you use ChatGPT? So she took pictures of her pantry, and ChatGPT did a really good job of helping her reorganize her pantry in a way that would make more sense. So it was all the condiments, all the dry goods, all the canned goods. It made all the baking and cooking for the holidays so much easier. What we did not account for is the fact that all of us have been going into that pantry for years, and things have always been in the same place. And so throughout the entire holiday season, anytime I tried to go find snacks in the pantry, it was such a pain. I had no idea where anything was because they had been moved from where they had been for years. But I guess that is the price of progress. So here is my question for you. I am super curious. What AI did you encounter over the holidays? Did you use it for meal planning? Did you use it to plan your travel, for gift ideas? Oh my gosh, I had to use it for gift ideas for my nephew who is about to turn 14. And what do you get for a 14-year-old boy? I have no idea. Did you see it in ads? Did you get any cards from people? I want to hear about it. So please, share, tag me, Erica the AI Queen. That's Erica with a K. Thanks, Mom. Erica with a K, the AI Queen. Tag me. I would love to hear or see any of the AI stuff that you saw or received throughout the holidays. All right, Queens, let's wrap this up. Today, we covered major AI updates that you might have missed through the holidays from OpenAI, Google, Midjourney, huge improvements to image generation. We talked about what all this means for you. AI is becoming essential. Women who master it now are going to have a huge advantage. This is a huge message for me this year. Now is the time. Last year was the time, but if you're missing the boat now, don't miss the boat now. And I also shared some real world examples. So coming up next, I've got a few special guests already lined up to record early this year. Entrepreneurs who are using AI in really smart, strategic ways in their businesses. So you are not going to want to miss this. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the AI Queens podcast. It feels weird to say, but I mean, gosh, I've been doing this for less than a year and I am loving it. I hope you love it too. If you love today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow queen who needs to hear this. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep reigning with AI. Thanks for listening to the AI Queens podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow queen who needs to hear this. Want more tools and tips? Join the AI Queens Society over at aiqueens.com and start ruling your business with confidence today. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep reigning with AI.